The Death of Dick Long is a film written by Billy Chu and directed by this man, Daniel Scheinert, who quite possibly has the best IMDb photo I have ever seen. He also directed Swiss Army Man, so if you have seen that, that gives you a hint at what to expect from this movie. Let's go back to the movie poster for a moment. Yes, that is a man with fireworks coming out of his crotch. With a title like this and a poster like this, how could you at least not be intrigued? And that is really all I had going into this. I had a vague memory of watching a trailer at some point in time and had added this to my to be watched list at some point a long time ago. This is from 2019, this movie. So, as I have said in the past, if you've watched any of my videos, I went into this pretty cold, which I'm very glad I did. So, the final thing, when I saw this logo grace the screen before the movie started, I knew I was potentially in store for something special. So The Death of Dick Long stars Michael Abbott Jr., Virginia Newcomb, and Andre Hyland, none of which I had ever seen before, but they all did amazing here. And it tells a story of these three friends, Zeke, Earl, and Dick, of course, who is played by the director himself. And we open with these three friends who are in a terrible cover band called Pink Floyd playing really bad 90s music poorly. And this line, said by Dick himself, sets it all off.
Hey, you motherfuckers want to get weird?
And indeed it does. So after a short night of partying, getting drunk, lighting couches on fire, lighting fireworks off, as shown in the movie poster, something terrible has happened to Dick. He's injured badly. They're driving down the road. He's in the back seat lying down, bleeding out, and we don't know why. As the viewer, we aren't privy to what has happened. This isn't a spoiler either. Dick dies. It's in the title. We spend the rest of the time where Zeke and Earl are doing everything they possibly can to not be associated with Dick's death. And what ensues is a wild, weird, sad, tragic tale of these men and their families and this town. So what did I think? Well, as I said, I didn't really know much going into this movie. On the surface, it seems like a few of these hillbilly guys, it's kind of like this group of guys you knew in high school, and they're still in high school, right? They're in their 30s probably, but mentally and socially, they are still in their high school years. They're still latched on to the music of that time, the activities of that time, but chronologically they've moved on at least. Zeke is married with a child. Dick has a wife as well. Earl, well, he's the guy who really never grew up. I think tonally the best way to describe this film is it's very Fargo. So, small town, quirky cast of characters. I mean, the police chief is the generic grandma, this sweet lady who means business, but we can't get away from the fact that she's just an old lady. And we can tell in this town nothing ever bad happens or nothing big enough to constitute a police investigation of any note. So I love the fact that the heroes of this story essentially are people that are normally background characters in other movies where they provide comic relief but don't really get integrated into the story at the forefront. And as I watch this movie, you're cringing because of all the very, very stupid things they're doing to try to save themselves. But what I really appreciated about it is that you're sitting back watching a movie, and if you were in a situation like this, you always try to imagine what you would do. You plot it all out. It's flawless. You get away with it. It's easy. But in fact, we get a very real look at probably what the average Joe would do in a situation like this. And it's hilarious. The music that they never left behind in the 90s, bands like Disturbed, bands like Creed, and Nickelback, of course, are peppered throughout in things like phone ringtones and just infused within the setting. And I love the fact that they did that. I think it just brings out the characters. And even though you could argue that sometimes these guys almost fall into the caricature category, I feel like everyone knows these guys. I knew these guys at one point in my life. But I think my favorite thing in this movie is how they successfully managed to mix comedy, drama, and tragedy all into one. It never felt forced. It never felt like it didn't go together. It was this great progression where you're laughing, you feel for these guys, you're crying with them because it is a very painful experience what happens. This film covers the full gamut of emotion nearly. And I really love the fact that we don't learn what really happened until much later in the film, and I can guarantee you will never guess what that is. Because what it does is it feeds into our curiosity. It pulls us along with these characters to where we're just getting in their heads. We're feeling what they're feeling, even though we don't know what happened. And then when that event is finally revealed, man, you want to laugh, but then you also see the pain in these characters' eyes. And that is the greatest success of this film, is that it's a marriage of all these different genres and tones, and it feels so seamless. Now, should you watch it? Yes. I implore you to watch this movie. Now, no, it's not for everybody. If you're going to this movie looking for something like a Will Ferrell movie or an Adam Sandler movie, a very mainstream comedy, you will not find that here. The reveal might turn off some people, and not because of the subject matter, just because they maybe can't take it seriously anymore. I don't know. I'm really reaching here to find reasons why you might not like this movie. And while I can tell that the screenwriter and the director were probably laughing out loud quite a bit while they were creating this film and just the situations they had to manufacture, there's just so much care that went into this script and fun detail that you do know that they were truly trying to create something special. With that said, I'm going to have to give The Death of Dick Long a 9 out of 10. I had a great time with this movie, completely unexpected. The last scene has a great callback. The credit scene has a great song that just fits in with everything. It's a great bookend to the characters and the events they went through and the entire experience. I hope you watch this movie. It's a hidden gem I hadn't seen much publicity for, but it is a great movie made by people who definitely care about their craft and had a great time making it. I'm almost positive. Have you seen this movie? I would love to hear about it. What were your thoughts? Did you like it as much as I did? And thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.